Hey there, welcome back. We're going to begin dividing polynomials by polynomials. We're going to start with something that we've done before. We're just going to kind of look at it in a different light. Well, we've done it before, a division of a polynomial by a monomial. And then we're going to look at long division, okay? So let's get started. So whenever you have a polynomial, which is more than one term in the numerator, and you're dividing it by a monomial, which is only one term in the numerator, the thing that you want to do is you want to separate it into separate fractions. Okay, so we're going to take, step one says take 12x squared and divide it by 6x, and then 6x divided by 6x. So we separated each term in the numerator and placed it over the common denominator. Okay, now we're going to reduce our fractions in terms of our coefficients, and then we're going to apply the quotient rule of exponents. Okay, so we're going to do step 2 and 3 all at the same time. So 12 divided by 6 is 2. X squared divided by x to the first, well, that's just x to the first. And then plus 6 divided by 6, well, that cancels, so that's a 1. X divided by x, well, that's x to the 0, otherwise it cancels. That's 1, so we get 2x plus 1. This is our quotient. Okay. And then for illustration B, we're going to do the exact same thing. Break it up into separate fractions and then cancel and apply the rules of exponents. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. M to the 5th divided by m squared is m cubed. You subtract those two. Minus 10 divided by 5 is 2. M cubed divided by m squared is m to the first. So this is the quotient. So why don't you go ahead and try this one. This is your video question. All right, here we go. We're going to just separate it into separate pieces. So here I am at 16 CDF squared over 4 CDF plus 4 CDF over 4 CDF. All right, so now I take 20 divided by 4, and that gives me 5. C to the 4th divided by C, that gives me C cubed. D squared divided by D, that gives me D. And the F's cancel, so that gives me a 1. Okay, so multiplication by 1 doesn't change it. Minus 16 divided by 4, that's 4. C to the 1st divided by C to the 1st, that cancels, or C to the 0, which gives us 1. D divided by D, that cancels. And then F squared divided by F gives me F to the 1st. And then I have plus 4 divided by 4 is 1. C divided by C is 1. D divided by D is 1. F divided by F is 1. And 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Well, there we go. Okay, so I want you to look closely at this. Why do you suppose that this is considered a division problem? It's because 3xy to the negative 1 is the equivalent of 1 over 3xy to the positive 1. Multiplication by the reciprocal is the same as division. So when you set this up, you just put this term in the denominator. So it would be 18x squared y over 3xy plus 27x cubed y squared z over 3xy, and then you would proceed as usual. So why don't you do B here on this slide as your video question, and then come back and check out the solution. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is write it as a division problem. So here's my division problem. And now I'm going to write it as separate fractions so that I can simplify. 32x to the fourth y cubed over 4xy plus 48x cubed y squared z over 4xy. And then we're going to simplify. 32 divided by 4 is 8. X to the fourth divided by x is x cubed. Y cubed divided by y is y squared. Plus 48 divided by 4 is 12. X cubed divided by x is x squared. Y squared divided by y is y. And z divided by 1 is z. And so here is our simplified expression, right? I don't understand what goes on, honestly. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to divide by a polynomial, which is going to be two or more terms. A lot of what we're going to do is two terms. Notice that I have this binomial, okay? This probably would have been presented like x squared plus 3x minus 40 divided by x minus 5, okay? So this x minus 5, that's the divisor. And then the x squared plus 3x minus 40, that is the dividend. This goes under the division symbol, and this goes out in front, all right? Now, what makes this kind of easy is that what we do is we try and figure out what to multiply this first term in our divisor by so that it matches exactly the first term in our dividend. All right, so if I look at that, what do I need to multiply x by so that I match exactly x squared? Well, I need to multiply it by x. And notice that I put it over the x column. This is the x squared column, this is the x column, and this is the constant column here, okay? Now I take this x and I multiply it by each term in my divisor, okay? So this gives me an x squared minus 5x. And now I subtract, okay? X squared minus x squared, those cancel. We want that to happen every single time. Now watch your signs on this. 3x minus negative 5x. Well, that actually becomes plus 5x, so I get 8x, and now I bring down the negative 40. Now I ask myself, what do I have to multiply x by so that I get exactly 8x? Well, that is an 8. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. And now what I do is I subtract those two. 8x minus 8x, those cancel. Negative 40 minus negative 40, those cancel, and I'm left with 0 remainder. My quotient is x plus 8. Right? Let's try this one. I want to match exactly. I want to multiply 5x by something so that it matches 10x squared exactly. So that's going to be 2x. 2 times 5 is 10. X times x is x squared. Plus 2 times 4 is 8. And then x times 1 is x. And I'm subtracting. 10x squared minus 10x squared, well, that cancels. Negative 2x minus 8x, well, that's negative 10x. And then I'm going to bring down my positive 16. The way that I know to stop is that my remainder here, there won't be any more terms to bring down, and my remainder will have a degree that is smaller than what I'm dividing by, or my divisor. So now I'm going to multiply by a negative 2. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, and then that times x, and then negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, and I'm going to subtract, and that gives me 24. So watch where, this is my remainder. So watch where I'm going to write my remainder. I'm going to write it as a fraction, not as a decimal. So it's positive, so this becomes plus 24 over 5x plus 4. If this were minus, then this would be minus. Okay. So remember how in monomial division we had this factor raised to the negative 1? Well, we have the same thing. This becomes the divisor, and this is the quotient. I'm sorry, that's the dividend. Okay, so I'm going to put negative x plus 3 on the outside, and x squared plus 7x minus 11 underneath the division sign. What do I have to multiply negative x by so that I get a positive x squared? Well, that needs to be a negative x. Negative times negative is positive. X times x is x squared. Negative times positive is negative, and then I get 3x. And I subtract. Watch your signs. X squared minus x squared, that cancels. 7x minus negative 3x, well, that becomes positive 10x. And I bring down my negative 11. Now, what do I have to multiply negative x by to get positive 10x? Well, we need it to be a negative 10. So negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10, and then times x minus 30. I'm subtracting. These cancel. Negative 11 minus negative 30. This becomes plus 19. So this is my remainder, and so I'm going to write it up as a fraction above. So it becomes plus 19 over negative x plus 3. The last thing that we have to be careful of is when we're missing terms. Notice how this goes from x to the fourth to x squared. It's good that it's going down. It must go down. However, there can't be any missing terms. So notice what I did here. I included a 0 in front of the x cubed term, and then I inserted a 0 x term. I filled in with 0 terms. Now I do the same process. What do I have to multiply x by so that I get x to the fourth? Well, I have to multiply by x cubed. When I do that, I get x to the fourth minus 2x cubed. I subtract. These cancel. Minus a negative becomes positive 2x cubed, and I bring down my negative 6x squared. What do I have to multiply x by to get a positive 2x cubed? Well, I need a positive 2x squared. That gives me 2x cubed minus 4x squared. I'm subtracting. Be careful with your negative signs. This is negative 6x squared minus a negative 4x squared. So this goes plus down here. So I get negative 2x squared, and I bring down my 0x. What do I have to multiply x by in order to get negative 2x squared? Well, what I need is a negative 2x. Negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared. That must match. Negative 2x times negative 2 is positive 4x. And now I am subtracting. These cancel and I get negative 4x, and I bring down my 8. Now what do I have to multiply x by in order to get negative 4x? I need to multiply it by a negative 4. That gives me negative 4x plus 8. And when I subtract, this cancels and this cancels, and I get no remainder. This will be our assignment. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.